Hello and welcome to episode 85 of the Victorian Studio podcast. My name is Maureen and I'm coming to you from my studio here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Welcome to all new and returning viewers. I hope you enjoy seeing what I have to share today. And I know it's been a little while, but I wanted to first thank all of you who were visiting my studio tour, the last video that I uploaded to YouTube. I got a terrific response to that video, and I really enjoyed sharing how I store and work in this small room I call my Victorian studio. So thank you to all of you for your comments and likes on that video. That was awesome. So I thought I would get back to a normal podcast episode today. I have some knitting to share and some Harry Potter knit-along prizes to announce, as well as some new charms that I've been making for my shop and a few other acquisitions. So let's see. Before I begin with the knitting, I also wanted to make an announcement that in the Victorian Studio podcast group over on Ravelry, I am very lucky to have a moderator named Vonnie, Studio Von Design, and she has been with me for quite a while now, and she does so much work over there. She answers so many of the members' questions. She starts activities over there and is always commenting and really supporting the group so much. I also wanted to announce a second moderator that's been added to the group. So welcome Sylvie. That's Mirakira from France. Sylvie, thank you so much for joining Vonnie and I over in the group. I really do appreciate both of yours participation in everything that goes on over there and all your hard work. So I'm thrilled to have you join us over in the group on Ravelry. So thank you, Sylvie. And I hope everyone who hasn't seen that announcement over in the group, go over and give Sylvie a warm welcome as well. So thank you very much, ladies, for helping me run that Ravelry group. I couldn't do it without you. Okay, so let's get right to the knitting. I just have three projects on the go right now. Two I've completed and one I just started a little while ago. So I'll start with the completed items. As usual, I always like to have a pair of socks on my needles, and I finally finished the pair that I've been working on since the beginning of the year. I had planned on having these finished by Valentine's Day, but that didn't work out so well because I'm not involved in any real knit-alongs or anything right now. I really didn't have a deadline to finish these socks, so I took my time doing them, even though they're just my regular vanilla socks. So the yarn that I decided to make these out of was very Valentine inspired. It's called Harlequin by Lisa over at Fibernymph Dyeworks, and this is the yarn that I have left. This is on her Traveler's base, and it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So yeah, I thought that would be appropriate for Valentine's Day, but alas, they didn't get done until just a few days ago. But I am pleased with the final result. These are the socks, all finished now. So as you can see, I tried to make them as close to a matching pair as possible. What I did with Lisa's yarn was split it into two balls that started at exactly the same point in her dyeing pattern, so that I started with the cuffs. I do a 2x2 rib on the cuffs, then just regular stockinette, German short row heel. I got that pattern from Mina Phillip, the knitting expat, and then again just stockinette until I Kitchenered those toes. So I'm really pleased that they both ended up being a fairly good matching pair. So now I can at least wear these now that I've shown them on the podcast. So I guess it's time to get another pair on the needles, and I have no idea. I'm going to have to check and see what colors I feel like doing next. So yeah, that's the first project that I've completed over the last little while since our last podcast. The second project that I was working on was something that I was making out of some leftover yarn, and it really doesn't have a pattern. It was just something I kind of threw together. If you saw my last episode back in January, you'll know that I knit up 3 hats, toques, for my mother, my father, and my mother-in-law for Christmas. Well, since I had some yarn left over from doing my Gryffindor Quidditch sweater, I next did a Gryffindor scarf, and I still had yarn left over, so I decided to make myself a Gryffindor toque. So let's see, the yarn, let's see, I think I have, yes, I still have more of this. This was just made out, all of these items were made out of the same yarn, just some knit picks. This is the wool of the Andes in golden heather and garnet heather, and I had quite a few of these when I was making my my Quidditch sweater, so it's great to be able to make a few other accessories, and I still have some of this left over, so I'm thinking maybe now with the final ones I can maybe make a pair of matching mitts for next year. It's starting to get warm out, even though we have lots of snow on the ground. It's getting probably too warm to be wearing mitts by the time I would get these done. Today I still had to wear mitts. It was cold this morning, but over the next few days it's actually going above 0 here. So by the time I would get a pair of mitts done, they wouldn't be useful until next fall, I'm sure. But anyway, like I say, I still had some of that yarn left over. So here is the hat that I made, or the toque, as we call it in Canada. And as I mentioned, this didn't have a pattern. I just cast on the same amount of stitches that I did for the 3 hats that I made for my parents and mother-in-law. 120 stitches. And let's see, this was using US number 6 needles, or 4mm needles, and I just did a 2x2 rib all around, so it makes it really nice and stretchy. I just made it until I had enough of a brim on there that I like to fold up, or I can pull it down over my ears. And then I made this really nice big fluffy pom-pom, and that's the first time I've made, I think it's the first time I've made a pom-pom. And so I really didn't know how to make one, so went to good old YouTube, and I will link the video that I used to make this. I'll link it in the description box below. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Basically, to make this pom-pom really nice and full, this video, to give you kind of a shorthand version of it, asks you first to cut out a circle and then make a hole in the middle. So this video is called The Secret to Making the Perfect Pom-Pom by the Nervous Knitter. So she asks you to make a circle. She uses a jar just to make one, and then to cut a hole in the middle. So to cut the hole in the middle, I just folded it and then cut the center out so that it would be centered. And from that template, you get some thick cardboard. And what I did was I used 2 pieces of cardboard glued together. And this is corrugated cardboard. And because it has the corrugations running one way and it would be easy to bend, I glued it so the other corrugations ran perpendicular to the other side. So I glued 2 pieces each to make it really nice and stiff. And on the second one, you put a hole through it. And you use those to cut your pom-pom and shape it a little bit later. But to actually wrap the pom-pom, she recommends taking your yarn, I think she said maybe 4 strands. I believe I used 5 strands. Let me see on my notes. I thought I had written down, here it is. I wrapped 4 strands, 3 red and 1 gold, so that I got this, this pattern to the pom-pom. And you literally take 2 toilet paper rolls and wrap the yarn around, and I believe she said about 60 times, and I did it even more than that. I knew I wanted a really big, robust pom-pom. And you basically just wrap it around and then take another small piece of yarn and tie it between these, slide them out, and then you just cut either end. And using these discs, you press your pom-pom in between and use scissors to cut around both the pom-pom laying flat, and then once you've trimmed around one way, you turn it another way and trim it again, and you get this beautifully shaped pom-pom out of it. So if you haven't made pom-poms before, or you're not happy with how they turn out, I would highly recommend watching her video. It's excellent, and as I said, it's the first time I made one, and I was thrilled that it was such a nice thick pom-pom. So I just attached that to the top. I just did decreases on the crown of this, very similar to the toques that I did for my parents. So if you want details on any of the patterns that I'm talking about, or projects that I'm talking about, I have them all listed on Ravelry, so you can just check it out. I'll have links below to my Ravelry page, and yeah, you can see the details there of the patterns that I used for the other toques. So I'm really thrilled with that. So now I have my Gryffindor Quidditch sweater. I have the big long scarf, the year 1 and 2 scarf, and now a toque. So I think the next thing, yeah, we'll be making some matching mitts, and I'll be all decked out for next winter in total Gryffindor gear. So that is the second project that I had completed since the last episode in January. And the last project that I wanted to share with you today is a pattern that was kindly gifted to me from our moderator, one of our moderators, Vonnie, a little while ago. And I was waiting to get started on this project until I had a few other things completed. So I haven't got too far on this, but it is another Harry Potter inspired pattern. And as I said, it was a gift, so this is a purchase, a paid for pattern called Hedwig. And here's an image of the pattern here. It'll be easier to see rather than me showing this printout. It is a Tiny Owl Knits pattern by Stephanie Dozen, and it's a beautiful big shawl. And I know it's a very popular shawl right now. So yeah, I finally got started on this, and I'm really thrilled. I haven't gone too far on it. The first thing I did was I went over to Michael's and just picked up some loops and threads yarn for this. And so it takes a bulky weight yarn, and these were on sale at Michael's. I think you buy 3, you got the 4th one free. So I stocked up on both the white and the gray. It's called True Gray, and this one's just called white. So yeah, this is, I think it's all acrylic. Let me see. 100% acrylic, but it's very nice and soft. So being a very large project, I certainly didn't want to invest in a lot of alpaca or some of the yarn some people have made beautiful shawls with, but yeah, I decided just to do this out of this nice soft acrylic, and I'm very happy with the progress so far. I'll just get this off the needle minder here. So yeah, this is just started. I've maybe done about 30 rows, and it's basically color work, and you carry your floats at the back. So it is a very thick shawl. But yeah, right now you start at the bottom and work your way up. and his wings go out either side. So this is basically the tail down here, and then you work your way up to the head. So yeah, that's it so far. The pattern is very easy to follow. There's only one thing I would love it if they could have designed it so that there's 3 sections to the pattern. There's the middle section and then the 2 winged sections. So you have to kind of go back and forth between 3 different sheets to follow the pattern. And what I was hoping to do was just tape it all together so that I was following it all. So I could have the center section, and I was going to tape the both wings to either side so that I could just run right across as I was doing my counting. But unfortunately, when it prints off, the 2 side sections print at a much smaller size, so it doesn't line up with the center section when it's printed out, unfortunately. So I think that's the only thing that I wish they would have kind of fixed when they designed the pattern. Other than that, though, it's very easy to follow. Really simple. If you haven't done much color work, this might be nice to start with because it is just the 2 colors. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working on this some more. And I don't know if I'm going to do the feathers. There's some feathers that you make at the very end that hang off of the bottom. Some people make them, some don't. So I'll see what it looks like as I go. And again, no rush. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing to work on this. So this will be my current project. And as I said, I'll probably throw another pair of socks on the needles as well. And yeah, that's it for knitting. And speaking of Harry Potter and Hedwig, it's time to announce some more prizes in the Harry Potter Knit-Along that's currently in month 3 of year 3 over in our Ravelry group. So for anybody who has participated since January the 1st through to February 28th, I went to random.org to select 3 posts for 3 prizes today. So from random.org, I selected posts 2 to 170, and the first prize is for a $10 giftable Ravelry pattern. That's $10 US or less pattern, and the winner is post 91, Vonnie, Studio Von Designs. So congratulations, Vonnie. I believe this was for your incredible phoenix that you crocheted. So cute. I just adore that pattern. So congratulations. Let me know what pattern you would like and I will gift that to you. And the second prize is a Hogwarts Crest Progress Keeper. And that's one of these little charms that I got from the UK that I made into a Progress Keeper. And that goes to post number 64, Florence. And that's Floggig Knits. So congratulations, Florence. When you see this, PM me over on Ravelry to give me your mailing address and I will send that out to you. Plus a few other goodies goes into the packages. And the third prize today is a choice of a Progress Keeper stitch marker from my Victorian Studio shop over on Etsy. And the winner of that is post number 130, Lucy, Lucy. Congratulations. Let me know when you see this, let me know what charm you would like from my shop, and I will send that out to you. Also send me your mailing address, please, and I will get that out to you. So congratulations, all 3 winners. And if you haven't won yet, prizes will be awarded every month. And at the end of March, actually the next prize drawing will be for some larger prizes. I do larger prizes every quarter. So for all of the participation from January 1st to March 31st, you'll be eligible for some larger prizes. And if you're interested, if you're unsure about this knit-along, You can go over to our Ravelry group. There's a picture of all the prizes that I've collected for the year, and has all the rules and regulations there. So it's never too late to join, even if you haven't been with us in year 1, 2, or so far in year 3, no problem. You can join us anytime. So just head over there, and if you have any questions, I'm sure Vonnie, Sylvie, or myself will be able to answer them. So again, congratulations to the winners, and good luck to everybody for prizes drawing in March. So that will be in a podcast early April that I'll announce those. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about were some non-knitting acquisitions, but it kind of relates to knitting and my crafting in general. I'm a habitual list maker. If I don't write something down, I'm bound and determined to forget it. And over the last little while, since I've been doing the podcast especially, I've been using quite a few notebooks to keep track of to-do items and you know, all kinds of reminders. Also for things that pertain to my shop, you know, what charms I would like to make next, and what I have to do, you know, posting on social media and that kind of thing. So over the last few years, I've been using books like this, just a regular notebook that I would keep all kinds of lists in. But I ended up you know, tabbing this to go back and forth to find certain items. And I finally bit the bullet and decided if this wasn't really working to the best of its ability, that maybe I should decide to get into a planner, formal planner. Now, I know that's something that a lot of you probably already have been doing for many years. I resisted doing it. There are huge amounts of YouTubers and all kinds of people who have all kinds of different planners. I mean, there's conventions for planners and all of that. So it was really interesting to kind of research this before I decided on what would work for me. So I thought I'd share that with you today. I hope you find it interesting. I know there's quite a few people who have the large Erin Condren planners, or similar ones from Michael's or other stores. Gee, there was even, I was this close to actually purchasing a Harry Potter planner. There was one I found that had the Hogwarts Express on it, and it was very cool, but it was a large, almost the size of a scribbler, and I wanted something about this size that I could carry around in my purse or a bag quite easily. So I ended up just purchasing something from Michael's, using my 40% coupon, of course, or even, I think it was even a 50% coupon when I decided to purchase my planner, and I just got a Recollections planner. But the format of it is very similar to a day timer that I had way long ago, probably in the 80s. And the only reason I know for sure is because I still had some inserts. Believe it or not, I throw away very little. As you could tell by my video of my studio tour of all the things that encompass this studio, I hang on to things for quite a while. And it was funny, I actually found planner inserts from probably the 80s from my day timer. Couldn't believe it's still in its plastic even. And these fit perfectly in this Recollections planner. So I'll show some pictures later on of this because you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But basically it's just a plain, you know, faux leather planner. So it was very inexpensive. There are some that are beautiful that you can get online from specialty shops that are all leather and different beautiful colors and everything, different sizes. But this works just fine for me. So as I mentioned, I went to Michael's, got the planner, got a few inserts for the calendar year, and then decided to design it for my own use. So some of the inserts that I got for this was, of course, a calendar. And I have both a monthly calendar that I can put, kind of main events into, like birthdays, anniversaries, special events coming up. And also I use a weekly planner to actually write my to-do lists every day. And I can't believe how well this is working for me. I'm really, I feel so prepared when I have things written down. I know that I could certainly use my phone, which I'm recording on right now, to have a digital planner. But there's something about writing it down that just makes me feel like I'm more in control, and I can check off things, or I highlight them as they're done. So after watching quite a few YouTube videos on different planner setups, I finally, I think, got mine in a format that works for me. So there's people that really decorate their planners. They have this, what they call a dashboard. Mine has some clocks in it, and that's some paper that is from Graphic 45 from Halloween, I believe. It's a steampunk paper, scrapbooking paper. And this does remind me a lot of scrapbooking. It's kind of a merge of note-taking and post-it notes meets scrapbooking, because some people go all out and decorate their pages with things like washi tape. I have a little bit of washi tape here. I really haven't done a lot of decorating, and there's all kinds of washi tape collectors who have all kinds. There's people who collect stickers that they put in here. I am going to show you some stickers that I did get, but I don't have a lot of that. Most of it is just plain written. I'm not going to show you too much because there is some private things in here. But I love being able to organize in this way. So I have a calendar that I've just got tabs on here. At first I had some dividers I had made up. It's actually these types of dividers. You can see the to-do is a Tim Holtz die that I made my own dividers from. I at first had those also for the months, but it ended up being too bulky and taking up too much extra space. So I just use these little tabs that stick to the pages, and they can be pulled off easily as well, but at least it doesn't bulk up my diary at all, or my journal at all. So I have the calendar, I have to-do so that I can have to-do lists. I keep track of mail that I'm expecting when I put in orders for the shop, supplies and that kind of thing for my Victorian studio shop. I can keep track of it there. I also have tabs for Etsy, YouTube, Ravelry, that kind of thing. And also, of course, a list of charms that I'd like to make. So, yeah, this has just been wonderful to be able to organize my thoughts in doing this. I thought I would share that with you. It's been a lot of fun. Some of the nice things also that I've learned over the last little while in starting this this journal is some of the pens that people recommended. And oh, by the way, this I used to use for knitting, and now I use it for my supplies, my stationery supplies. I can just grab this and my journal, my planner, and this has all of my stationery supplies like pens and extra papers and highlighters. And so I love this little bag. This is one I used to use for notions for knitting, but now it's for my planner. So one of the things that I started using with this are these friction pens, and you may be familiar with them. I wasn't before I started this, but they're actual erasable pens, and they are just wonderful to use. They really work really well. So I have different colors to use in my planner. And also the other thing that I love using are these these highlighters, and they're called mild liners. And you can get these on Amazon very cheap, and they're wonderful. They're so nice and like pastel colors, and they're great for highlighting different events, so you can color code things. But I love these. So as I said, there's a whole culture of planner people on YouTube. If you're interested in starting a planner for yourself, and you can start anytime, you don't have to do it in January, then check out YouTube, because there's all kinds of videos with lots of information. So yeah, one of the things that I did end up buying for my planner are some very special stickers. And as I said, I'm not a big sticker person. Some people have stickers all over their planners. It's very close to a scrapbook page. But the one thing that I wanted to get some stickers is also has to do with the Harry Potter knit-along. There's an artist, an illustrator called Katnipp, and her name is Catherine from the UK. She has a wonderful vlog on her shop and other things that she's done. She's gone to Florida to Walt Disney World, and she went to Harry Potter as well there. So it's really enjoyable to watch her videos. I'll make sure I link it down in the description box below. She makes both pins and stickers and greeting cards and bookmarks and mugs and mouse pads, all kinds of things. And she has some Harry Potter related items in her shop. So the first thing that caught my eye was this little pin, and it's the sorting hat that she's drawn. And I thought it was so cute. I'm going to put it on one of my knitting bags. But I asked her, when I saw this, if she had, it was a fairly new design, if she had any stickers as the sorting hat. And she hadn't, but she would make them up, and now they're in her shop. So I was thrilled that I kind of was the one to suggest that she make stickers out of the sorting hat design that she had done. So I, of course, placed an order once she had them in her shop, and some of them I've used already. And if you do win a prize from me, from the Harry Potter knit-along, you might see some of these little stickers in your package as well. So I'm going to use them both in my planner and as little inserts into prizes for the knit-along. So there are these little purple ones that match her her enamel pin, but then she also did some sets that were house colors. So I got a few sheets of these as well. So of course, you know, the Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin styled sorting hats. So I thought these were just adorable. So yeah, she is a very talented lady. Lots of fun to watch her vlogs, and her she also has tutorials on her videos as well. So it was just great to be able to get some of her work. So yeah, I think that's probably all I have to talk about the planner for now. If you have any questions on more details about, you know, how I use my planner and that, please feel free to comment below, and maybe in future videos I can show some more of how I organize both my days, my shop, and all my other events going on with my planner. So I hope that that helps somebody out there that may have questions or haven't really considered that using something like that could be very helpful for them as well. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is some of the new designs that I've been working on for my Victorian studio shop over on Etsy. Since I last recorded a regular podcast episode in January, I've got quite a few new designs that I was working on. One of the goals that I have in my planner is to get at least 100 designs in my Etsy shop. It's well known on Etsy, the more inventory you have, the easier it is for people to find you. So it's to your advantage to have quite a bit of inventory, and it's good to have good variety as well. So I've been working on a few new designs, and I just thought I would share them with you today. So the first one is something that's very Canadian. In February, here in Winnipeg, there is a festival that actually celebrated its 50th anniversary this year, and that's Festival de Voyageurs. And it's a French-Canadian festival, and of course, what's more French-Canadian than a plate of poutine? So I had made some French fries up for my fish and chips progress keepers that I already made in the shop. So I thought I would try my hand at making some poutine, which is, if you're not familiar, French fries covered in gravy and curds of cheese, and it's sinful. It's as sinful as it sounds. And actually at work, we went out for lunch one day with some of my co-workers to a very French-Canadian restaurant just the other day. And of course, when I went there, I had to have some poutine. So it is absolutely delicious. Not something you can have very often, though. So I thought it'd be fun to have a few of these in the shop. And I've already sold some of these as well, so they're very popular. The second item that I'm going to share with you is something I wanted to make for a while, but it took a fair amount of time to actually get done. And that's a little honey pot with a little tiny bee. And when I say tiny, I mean tiny. These are made from glass jars. Little spoons are inside the jar with epoxy honey, and some of the honey is dripping out, and there's a label, clear label on each honey jar. And then using polymer clay and some vellum for wings, I made these teeny tiny little bees. So again, these come with a regular clasp and ring, so you can use it for a stitch marker or a progress keeper. And I believe these come in both silver tone and gold. Most of my charms do come in a variety of jewelry findings. So that was number 2 in the designs that I've made recently. The next one is another favorite meal, kind of a comfort food, and that's a grilled cheese sandwich. So these are made with 2 pieces of toast with some gooey cheese in the middle. So these were a lot of fun to make, and making them so that they looked like they were fried, and very sinful as well. So yeah, those are up in the shop as well. And then I found some really small, they're called nano blocks. They're from Japan, and they're like miniature Lego. So I thought it would be fun to make some of these spheres and have little pieces of these nano blocks, like Lego, but they aren't exactly Lego. I don't think they make Lego this small. So these are loose, and yeah, I put a few pieces in each of these spheres and sealed them up so they won't fall on the floor, and you won't be stepping on these Legos in your bare feet or stocking feet in the middle of the night. So yeah, these were a lot of fun. I thought they'd be good for people who, like me, grew up with Lego, or maybe some male knitters out there. If they don't want something really feminine, maybe they'd like some Lego building blocks to mark their knitting projects with. And let's see, something that I just completed yesterday were some bowls of cereal. And these were a lot of fun as well to create. These are made using real ceramic cereal bowls with, again, another spoon in there, either silver or gold tone. And then these little O's of cereal and milk. And these were really tiny to make, but again, a lot of fun to create these. So they do look like Fruit Loops, but of course I can't call them Fruit Loops. Just bowls of cereal. And they come in different colored bowls. I believe there's blue, green, yellow, pink, and a salmon color. I think that's all the colors that I have. Anyway, they're in the shop, and they're all listed by either bowl color and spoon color so that the findings match the spoons, so either silver or gold tone. Let's see, another breakfast item that I've been working on are some pancakes. So these I think turned out really well. These are pancakes with some strawberries, and on the top there's some melted butter and of course some syrup. And these are on a ceramic plate, and they also have both a fork and knife on there, and attached to the knife is the jewelry findings. So yeah, these were terrific to put together. I really enjoyed doing these little pancakes. I also have, I think, waffles and kiwi if you want something similar to that. But I know a lot of people like the pancakes as well. And the next items are very similar, but there's two separate listings for little cups of tea. So these are very, very tiny. I was able to find a supplier that had these little clear teacups. And so the first one has a little teacup with little cherries on the front molded into the actual teacup. So I filled it with epoxy and added a little lemon slice to that one. And I did the same for this one, but this teacup is even smaller, and it comes with a saucer and two little lemon cookies to go with it. So those are very, very tiny. You can see the comparison of the two to see the difference. So those are popular. I know a lot of knitters are tea drinkers as well. So yeah, those I've already sold quite a few of. And the last thing that I wanted to share is something just in time for Easter. I already have a chocolate Easter bunny in my shop that I've been doing for a while. But one of my favorite treats at Easter are hot cross buns, and I love them. And I made these, I think it was last weekend. I made a whole bunch of these little polymer clay hot cross buns. So they are colored on the sides so that they look like they've been torn from a pack of 6. So it has 2 sides that are colored as if they were baked, and 2 sides that are torn so you can see the inside with the raisins and currants inside, and then of course glazed on the top with a little cross. So yeah, these I really love, and I wish they would have hot cross buns all year. I would eat them all year around, but maybe that's a bad thing. So maybe it's a good thing that it only comes out at Easter time, because I love hot cross buns. So now I can have them on my knitting as well. So that's it. That's quite a few new designs in the shop. I think I'm up to 74 different designs right now, so I'm planning on a few more. I've really been having a lot of fun creating new designs for the shop, and I've been just thrilled with how the sales are going. It's really been picking up, and yeah, I've just been thrilled with how popular the orders are coming in and how popular things are going. I'm really very excited about that. So it's a thrill for me to see that my work is traveling all over the world. So thank you to anybody who's watching that have ordered from me. I hope you enjoy what I've made for you. So I think that's it for this episode. As usual, I'll have some photos at the end, and the next episode I'll plan to do in early April so that I can award the next prizes for the Harry Potter knit along. So until then, thank you so much for joining me in my studio. I hope you enjoyed seeing everything I had to share today. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you'll join me again in the next episode of the Victorian Studio podcast. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.